Let me see. Let me test this mic real quick. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing mic. Okay, that should do it. Hey, Bud Bieber. I guess I get sound now. But yeah, Thomas, so they just shut everything down here in Texas again. The governor did today, and in Florida. The COVID cases are getting out of hand again. And it kind of bums me out because I had maybe not my first, hey, Mike Reynolds, maybe not my first paying gig, but probably one that would have paid a good amount. And it was going to be at a local bar here. They were going to have a benefit for a police officer here that was killed in a helicopter crash. And they wanted me to drone the crowd around the bar, which the bar sits on a piece of land. It's about I guess an acre. And they were expecting about 3,000 people there. And they were just asked, because I did some droning there a few weeks ago, and they liked what they saw. So yeah, they wanted me to just take pictures of the crowd. Your bar's just opened yet today, man. There you go. See, ours has been open for 3 weeks, and I don't really go to bars, so I can't really say. But I guess that they're saying that there's just too much congregating going on. Yeah, and I'm sure there is, but I have a problem with the way our mayor and the chief of police here about 2 or 3 weeks ago handled this situation. There was one of the demonstrations downtown supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. Hey, Fred, let me let you in here. Hey, Fred.
Hey, brother.
What's going on? But no, I was just saying that the mayor and the chief of police here in Houston were leading a 60,000 strong march downtown about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I even remember the chief of police saying to a camera crew that if I don't have COVID now, I probably won't get it. Yeah. So 60,000 people in that march, and they closed the bars because there's too much congregating going on. Right, Fred?
Oh, it's nuts.
And for anybody who don't know Fred, it's Fred Konzak. He's my buddy that I fly with.
We went down we were supposed to do a benefit for the.
Yeah, I was telling him about that we might have had a paying gig there at the bar. But oh well.
I would have done it for drinks.
Hey man, you're a little hard to hear, or I'm losing my hearing.
Okay, I could do something about that.
Oh, wait a minute. It could be on my end. No, my volume's up high.
Let me check my volume.
That's a little bit better, whatever you just did.
I was just touching my volume and it was pretty up.
Hey, Pond and More.
Am I okay now, Brian?
Yeah, it sounds much better.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty bummed out about our loss of freedoms. And I mean, at the same time, it does disturb me that these COVID cases are on the rise. And, I'm almost 60. Fred's like 61. So we're in the zone for where it's not a good idea if we contract it, there's that. But at the same time, what did they say? 5,500 cases in Texas or Houston? I can't remember. Even if it's just in Houston, 5,500 cases. Houston has 3.5 million people. And of those 5,500, yeah, some have died. And the percentage now is like less than 1% of people who are actually getting it are actually dying of it. So, I don't know. Fred is a boit low. That's Thomas.
What?
There you go. He said you're a boit low. I think he meant a bit low. He put an O in there before the I.
For my volume?
Yeah, no, your volume is a little bit better now.
Okay.
Hey, Dean. I think I sent you a link if you want to pop in. But, yeah. I know Sean Oz is on a little tour of Texas at the moment, and he was supposed to stop by here Sunday night and go hanging out with a bunch of people. And he kind of mentioned it to me that where he was going to be, and I was thinking of getting up there, but I'm thinking, well, that place is going to be shut now. So much for that. That's okay, Dean. But I got to remember to watch. Let me see. What am I not doing here? I always do. You get on somebody else's stream and it's like, well, I can just sit here and talk, or I can not talk, and I can just look around. And I can't do that here because I got to watch the chats. I got to maintain this kind of stuff. In fact, let me stop. It's getting annoying. Where is this at? There we go. Let's change it to that one. Man, I've been working on this stuff. Look at that. See? You guys use the Osmo action camera? How you find it? What's that? Strange government official. What? You get strange government official. I see. No, not yet. But no. Anyways, I didn't really have much to say about anything today. I just wanted to get on here and put my face out there and have a drink.
Now we could talk about the humidity, of course.
We can definitely talk about the humidity. God.
It was brutal.
Fred and I were out walking this morning. It was 81 degrees. Humidity was 89%. You could swim through your walk. Hey, Mitch. We got Mitch in here now, too. Man, we're up to 7. I'm impressed. But no, man, Fred and I got out last Saturday to Lake Conroe. I made a video of it and put it up Wednesday. And it's been downhill ever since last Saturday because it started raining on Monday. It's still kind of drippy and rainy. And now after the rain ends, I think on Sunday or Monday, hey, Agent K, we're supposed to get the Sahara dust cloud. So I'm waiting for that. That's going to make for some beautiful video.
Oh, it's just going to be mud on your arms.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna put the Mavic Air 2 up and set it to HDR and see what that looks like in that dust cloud, that sun setting. That ought to be awesome. In fact, right before I started this stream, I was watching a video by I can't remember his last name. His first name's Stewart. It's Drone Film Guide. He's got like 160 something thousand subs. But he was explaining that HDR on the Mavic Air 2 in, look at that, I forgot I can do that, in anything but a sunset or a sunrise, that's all it's good for. In other words, most of the footage that I took at Lake Conroe, Fred, Saturday, that was HDR. Big deal. It could have been in 4K at 30 or 60 frames a second. It wouldn't have made any difference. In other words, that HDR is only for sunsets and sunrises, which I kind of thought, because one of the first things I did with my Mavic Air 2 was a sunrise or sunset shot, and it looked great. Switch back and forth, and I said, yeah, that's where HDR shines, and it really doesn't do any good for anything anywhere else. So it's another bad thing against that drone. Oh.
Yeah, you're breaking my heart.
I know. Let's stir up some shit with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still probably going to get one.
You need to, man.
I know. I was watching your video at Conroe, and how far you could go and not worry about losing sync, and I couldn't even get close to that.
Well, the other thing though too that's bothering me is like right now, my Mavic Air 2, I've yet to send it out really far. I generally only need to fly about a half mile from where I'm at, just a little bit beyond visual line of sight, and rarely even that. But I still need to make sure it can do what it's supposed to be able to do. And I noticed Saturday, I had it over 3,000 feet and I was losing signal like crazy. And I think I mentioned this to you. So, but I was flying it with my iPad and it has that OTG cable. It's got a curl in it and it's got a couple clips holding it there. So I'm thinking it could be that cable. So I've ordered a new cable and hopefully it'll be here Sunday, but I'm itching really now to get out to somewhere that I can fly that thing and make sure it goes at least a mile or two. Because I just saw a video by Sean Oz yesterday. Of course, he's up there in the mountains and stuff where there's no.
That tends to help. Yeah.
Anyway, but he sent his Mavic Air 2 16,500 feet. Think about it. That's like 3 miles. And I liked.
And it was still in sight though, right?
I like how he covered that. He goes, I've got a couple friends of mine downrange who are watching this. Sure, Sean, what are they, bears or moose? Hey, you gotta cover your ass, man. It's the way it is. But in his case, I mean, he's flying over water. What's he gonna hit? Hey, Mitch.
Hey! Surprise invitation. How you doing, guys?
Hey, man, I was just putting those out because I stole Jim's mailing list and I said, let me try this.
I was wondering where you got that list of names.
Yeah. Hey, where's my monkey, man? I missed a monkey.
I'm not in my studio. I'm actually in my office. So no green screen means no monkey.
Oh, I hear you. I've been thinking of actually getting one of those. They're not that expensive.
No, the monkeys are cheap.
Well, I mean,
my brother, he does shows and stuff. He's a musician, and he moved into a new apartment, and he put a studio there, and he painted his whole wall green.
He painted it. He painted it.
So he's got a whole wall that says his green screen.
You know, you can paint it any color. You can paint on any color, blue, green, whatever. And the problem is that, beige and white aren't going to work too well because everything is beige and white, so it'll key out. But look at you got blue back there.
I got blue for my train layout, though.
Well, those green screens, you buy them from Amazon. They're pretty cheap. They come with two stands and a crossbar across the top, and you just hang it down behind you like a drape. It works fine.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like you need much.
No, it's fun because it lets you create worlds that don't exist. At least it adds a little depth to whatever it is, because look, most of us, Brian, are really if you in the final analysis, we're just average, boring guys without a hell of a lot to say. We need all the help we can get.
Pretty much. And I know, Fred, I'm going to give you some background on Mitch. First of all, Mitch has a monkey that he usually shows in his live streams, which is freaking me out every time I watch. He was on yesterday. But Mitch just turned 73.
Wow.
And Mitch flies FPV.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like the world's oldest. I think I'm the world's oldest. One of the older FPV pilots.
Okay. It's still in the box because I'm scared.
And I want
That's a tiny hawk.
Well, Brian, you'll love it. Of course, with me, having 50 plus years of RC experience, flying virtually everything RC. I'm surprised I didn't get into FPV sooner. I've been doing it about a year and a half now, but because I started with the Mavics and the camera stuff, but I got bored with just doing photography. I wanted to fly, and I love it.
The other thing too about FPV is it seems like the video quality is getting much better.
It is both in the analog and the digital. The DJI system has revolutionized what you see in the goggles. It's like sitting in an IMAX. It's like sitting in an IMAX movie theater flying. It's fabulous. But even the analog stuff now, they've got a lot of 1200 TVL cameras, and you put a good strong transmitter on it, and you get a fairly decent image.
That's what I've been seeing. There is a Facebook group that I belong to, and I'd like to share this almost with everybody because what it is they call it YouTube video sub for sub. Basically, I've grown my channel by at least 200 subs in the last 4 or 5 months with it. And you just get on there, throw up a video, and say, "Here's my video," and you just sub everybody back and forth.
Mhm.
And it's cool because everybody you're subbing has to do something to do with drones. But one of the guys put up something, let's do something different today. And what he did was put up something that's not yours that looks really, really spectacular. And he put up this one guy, I cannot remember his name. I wish I could call it up. And I subbed him immediately because he is the guy who did the FPV promo for DJI's system.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. He's got like 180,000 subs, surprisingly. Not.
Well, you're getting quite an audience here today. You got all the usual suspects are showing up. You got Ed, Love My Drones, Pond,
Yeah.
and more is here.
And this is unusual too for a Friday afternoon from me. It's like I tell everybody, I come on here on a Friday afternoon because I don't want to step on the toes of the heavyweights that come on at night, like who is it, Ken and Matt later on, and plus I'm scared if I see like 20 or 30 people up there in that ticker, I'm gonna hide under my desk.
Oh, come on.
It's like, okay, y'all take over.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I don't know if you saw what I did last night, but
I couldn't catch the whole thing. Like I said, I bowed out, man. A dog started barking. It was time to feed.
I don't know what got into me. I got pissed off. I got off on a political tear,
Oh,
and
That's
by the
really
time-
hard to do now.
By the time I was done, I had guys in the chat saying that this was the best show I ever did.
I
it could have
see.
went either way, right?
What, Fred?
It could have went either way, right?
Yeah. Well, the good news is that I was talking to 100% like-minded people.
I've seen time and again, and I keep missing it. Art Carlson's thing with Lloyd on I think it's Saturdays or Sundays.
Sunday. He does his political show
Yeah,
Sunday.
and it's always at the worst time. I've never been able to find the time to tune in. But, sometimes I think, well, I could really enjoy this, but at the same time, I know how it raised my blood pressure.
It does.
Because, even when you're with like-minded people, when you start thinking about the whole situation that's going on, it's like,
I know. That's what I was talking about. I can't even watch the news anymore. The news
no, I don't watch the news.
lasts 30 seconds on my TV before I'm screaming at the TV with the remote telling them to,
But that's what I was talking about earlier is that here in Texas, they've reinstated all the restrictions now because of COVID. Meanwhile, 3 weeks ago, the mayor and the chief of the police are out there in one of their BLM parades that they had here, 60,000 people strong. And they said everybody should be tested after the parade within a day or two.
Well,
And now they're saying, the cases have spiked so bad, we're shutting the whole state down.
well, the thing about it is, I don't know if anybody listened to the press conference today, but I watched the whole thing. That the first White House COVID press conference in 2 months, and they had Pence, Team Scarf, if you know who that is,
Yeah.
and Fauci was there, and they got up there and basically made a great case for
Look at
why
this man here. We're in big trouble, man. I'm glad I didn't talk about him before I saw him pop in.
who's
This
that?
could get rough.
Oh,
And he's drinking-
I'm not drunk, so how can it get? I'm not even drunk yet.
well, hurry up.
I was gonna say, Ken, it's you're an hour later than me. You should be.
Is that Ken?
That is Ken.
I'm trying to stay sober today.
Is
I
that
say
Ken
try-
Dono?
I say trying.
Is
On
that-
Friday, you're trying to stay sober. Come on, man.
I'm drinking water right now.
So that's is that Ken Dono?
That is.
Ken, remember me?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Mitch? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, yeah, you do remember me. Good. I haven't seen you in a while, man. I watch your stuff, but I haven't been on the stream or anything with you.
Oh, that's okay, man.
I'm trying to get over to Tampa one of these days. Dan is trying to put something together where we all get together and fly, and maybe
Oh, yeah?
maybe it'll happen one of these days.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Hey,
hoping to
things
get
get
something
crowded in
together.
here.
I wanted to get a meetup together, but I feel like if I do, then everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, why are you doing that with everything's going on?" I'm like, "Ah, shut
Ah,
the
bullshit.
fuck up."
Come on, you know better
Well,
than
see,
that. Who
that-
cares?
that's what I was just talking about, though, Ken. A few minutes ago, was Sean is on a Texas tour. Sean Oz, he's on a Texas tour right now. Hey, Steve,
Oh yeah?
Hey,
and he was
Brian,
supposed
how
to
are
be
you?
here in Houston Sunday,
Oh, nice.
and he called everybody to get together at this. Basically, it's a bar, game room
Okay.
type thing. Yeah, they shut everything down today.
Yeah,
Well-
I saw that. They shut all the bars down here, so the only way you
Yep.
can drink is at home, which I mean, it's all bullshit.
Oh yeah,
Well,
It's all-
I was talking about that press conference, and the whole point of the press conference that they made went right over everybody's head. And the point that they made is that while we're spiking in a few counties, in a few areas,
Yeah.
the brunt of all of these new cases are the result of all of these millennials finally getting tested. And most of the new cases are young people with no symptoms. And the reason it seems like they're spiking is now they're finally starting to get tested.
Yeah,
And
they're asymptomatic. Mitch, you're here in Florida, right?
yeah, I'm over in Melbourne.
Okay, so you're on the other coast. Yeah. So my cousins, they go to Tampa all the time, and I was informed that they had caught COVID because where are they at? They're at a bar. That's why I prefer to drink in the comfort of my home, because I'm the best bartender I know, best looking bartender, anyways. But I digress. So they got COVID, they got sick, and I'm like, well, that's why you don't go out. You're around, thousands of other people. I mean, your chances are better. I mean, this isn't like the lottery. I mean, I guess it sort of is, except for there's no fun prize. But they're fine. They're just like, yeah, it's like, you're sick.
Yeah, you get it for most
You got a
people.
little cold.
A cold or a
headache.
flu.
I
oh,
don't know.
man, look what happened to the '80s with sex, drugs, rock and roll, and AIDS. I mean, everybody has their bad time.
The problem is people pick and choose what they want to, I guess, harp on. You know what I mean? But the good thing is, after November, all of it's going to be gone. Like nothing ever fucking happened. It's like somebody's going to flip the magic switch, and then it's done.
Ken, it depends on who wins.
Either or way, somebody's going to bitch.
Oh yeah.
Either or way, somebody's going to bitch.
Hi, Steve.
Hello, Mitch.
How are you?
Hello, Fred. I don't think we've ever met.
No, nice meeting you. I'm a good friend with Brian.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Fred's got a very attractive hairline.
Steve, you
There
got
you
my
go.
waffle, Steve.
How's the Waffle Man doing these days, Kenny
We're doing
boy?
all right, man. We're doing good. How you been, buddy?
Good. Just got back from a visit with the attorney to over my mom's affairs. So
Oh, okay.
unfortunately, that'll be going on for the rest of the year. So
Yeah, that's usually a pain in the neck when things like that happen.
yeah, it should be pretty cut clear though. We should be okay, thank goodness.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good. I know it sucks, like whenever it goes into like an estate or
Well, it was everything
Probate.
was in a state, so hopefully we'll be avoid probate of any kind. So
that's good.
that's the best. That's the only thing you can hope for.
That's good.
So you guys got the dust storm heading your way. We are in the middle of it here right now.
Oh, really? I saw a video from someone in Florida yesterday who took some really good photos of it. I just can't wait.
But it's hazy. I got up this morning and looked out, and you didn't see blue sky. You just saw a real hazy sky.
Is
It's
that
been
what that
raining
is?
here. It's been raining here for a week.
It looked like it was gonna rain. It looked
Rain
like
is
it was
crazy,
raining.
crazy here, Ken.
I hear it's giving some beautiful sunsets.
Yeah, if I wasn't in a no-fly zone, I would have been pulling my drone out at my house and throwing it up. But
You're on the wrong coast for sunsets, though. There.
Well, we get some. We get some. We don't get sunsets over the water, but we still get some beautiful cloud formations. I used to
Okay.
live right on the Indian River, facing east.
I
So
used to,
got the
I used to live
sunlight.
in, I lived in Melbourne for a little bit. We lived right off Wickham, and then we moved to Palm Bay for a little bit.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
What part of Tampa do you live in?
I am just actually about 30 minutes north of Tampa. I'm up in the Hernando area. So
Oh.
actually, my county is actually doing pretty good with all this crap. So,
I'm
well, we
familiar,
were.
familiar with that, Ken. My daughter lives in Trinity. You know where that is?
Yeah. I know where Trinity is.
Pasco
Yeah.
County.
Yep, Pasco County.
Yeah, you're not far from her.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. So, yeah.
Agent K brings up a good point here on brushless motors. I was kind of worried about that too.
I don't think it's actually like a true dust storm. You know what I mean? It's not like
They
what you
say it
find
is.
out in Phoenix and whatnot, where I think it's
it-
more atmospheric.
No, this is from the sandstorms from Africa. It
Breathe
moving
that
across-
camel dung.
Yeah, it's an actual stand and dust storms from Africa that's moving across.
Yeah, I haven't seen
can't
anything like
wait.
that. I just
So
lived-
if that's the case, airlines are nowhere near that.
Yeah, I don't think that dust is going to hurt the motors all that much.
I get sand in my motors all the time. It's like
Yeah.
sand. It's like the equivalent of getting sand in your crotch. I mean, it comes out eventually.
Yeah, I hate that myself.
I mean, it grinds around a little bit, and then eventually it just comes right out. It's fine.
You know, I go to Galveston quite a bit, as y'all know, and that's the first thing I do when I get at home is canned
Stand
air
in
and
the
them motors, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, going out to the desert, in the old days, we used to go out to what they call the Anza-Borrego deserts out here in Southern California, between here and Arizona. And you get out there, you get those sandstorms out there. Goodbye any chrome on the front of your vehicle if you were driving. And
I was
pitted
wondering why it was so
windshields.
hazy. It was pretty hazy today. I was wondering about what was going on with that.
That's what it is. And the thing about it is, they say this is the first wave. There's another one coming like the week after next. I'm
Yeah,
really
yeah.
looking forward to these. To the
You look
this-
at the radar images, it shows
Oh, yes.
what it's doing.
Huh.
But it's good news because it stops the development of these big storms that
Yeah.
become tropical storms. That dust kind of just caps them off.
Oh, it's good for us.
Yeah,
is.
very, very good for you.
Good, depending on what business you're in.
If you're in the pump out business, no, you don't want it, man. We want to come vacate all the water out of your
The
basement.
disaster recovery and post insurance
ServPro.
claims.
Yeah. So we get a dust storm, we can't breathe, we choke to death versus a hurricane. Okay, I'll take choking to death. That works.
Yeah, at least you can run your generator in the hurricane.
True.
I tell you what, though, I worked, actually, Fred and I, we used to work together for the phone company. So for 30 years, I worked outside. This is not the first dust storm. And I'm going to tell you what, after about a week of working outside and that stuff, you feel it in your lungs. It hurts.
Oh yeah, it
You get
does.
that pressure right there down the middle. And it's like, oh, I just want to go home and breathe air conditioning for about 8 hours. It's
So if you're talking
not good
about,
to
are
be
you
out.
talking the days of the old Ma Bell and AT&T days, or
Well, he retired just last year. I'm out of there by 7 years ago.
oh,
But no, it's not the old AT&T. It's an entertainment company now. As soon as the CEO said that, I said, "Well, time to go."
yep.
Yeah, I hear you. Love my drones. Then again, the hurricanes come from Africa too. We need to do something about Africa. That's the problem.
Put up a curtain.
We need a screen.
Put a big filter up against it there. You just got to make sure you change it about every 10 seconds.
Hey, Ken.
Yo,
I really do appreciate you dropping in here, man. It means a lot to me, but I just hope you're not underwhelmed by only 12 on the viewer screen here.
I hadn't even know. I just clicked on the link. I haven't even actually watched the stream. I just
Hey,
saw
by
an
the way,
email.
Did-
Clicked on the link.
I was going to say, did you get an email or no?
Yeah, I got an email. It came.
Oh, okay.
through.
I wasn't sure. I stole that email list from Jim Boyd, so I don't know who the hell was on it.
Yeah, I
No, I'm on it.
clicked on the link, and off we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
hear the good thing though today, the notification is now you can start hosting on an iPhone, on an iPad, and on an Android device. You can start hosting
can't
StreamYard from
wait
the
to try
mobile
that.
device.
I know, I'm
I
waiting to
heard
try
that, but I wish they let you change the resolution of what you can stream at and give like a little bit. They need like a little more customization to the application.
That's coming in time as they get their bandwidth and everything set up for their servers to handle it.
They can handle 1080p. Maybe I would consider it, because man, I'm telling you, it's like a weekly epidemic every time I try to stream and bring somebody in. It's a shit show for the first 15, 20 seconds.
Hey, but at the same time, Ken, though,
Don't
even at
talk about it
720p,
crashing.
I know I shouldn't have said it.
even at 720p and in a higher rate of 1080, you're kind of stressing your bandwidth where you're originating from, aren't you?
No, not really. I mean, because what my computer's doing on the fly is encoding the video. So by the time it gets up to YouTube, it's ready to go. And then if you watch back the stream looks like it was filmed and shot and edited. So that's why I do it. So when somebody's watching it back, it's not really for as it's happening, but it's more or less for the watch back. Best possible quality watch back.
Now, now like here,
Grainy, man. Look how grainy I am.
so I'm saying, on your stream,
Well, it looks
Get the
great on my-
shaver out.
when
Get
you
the
dribble
shaver
beer
out.
down, when you dribble beer down here,
Great up
I
here.
can see it, but I couldn't see it on this. I see what you mean about the 720p. You're not going to get the beer dribble thing with this.
Exactly. If I'm drinking and it's going everywhere I smashed a can, like I could have did slow motion the other night when I smashed the can. 'Cause I had beer everywhere. I had beer on my 3D printer. I didn't even know it was there.
Oh,
Well, I
That's
don't
one
know
there.
about you, but the fuzz and the softness helps me out a lot.
I could see that.
I don't want to look too sharp.
That's true, man. I got nose hair. Nobody needs to know that.
Oh,
They
don't
get
go.
the phone just
And
a
that's-
little bit.
That's character, Brian. That's character.
I just felt like sharing.
yeah, I received a notification and thought, well, that's a good step in the right direction to be able to start and host stuff from a mobile device.
Now, will you be able to once you get your stream going on your mobile device, will you be able to stream mirror the phone image?
I would think it's going to come
What
off
do you
the
mean?
phone
What do you
camera.
mean streaming the phone? You're
Well,
streaming off
set up
your,
Like, you're talking about stream your desktop.
Can you then say to the StreamYard app, and I haven't tried it yet, okay, I'm going to run this FPV receiver app that's going to show on my phone screen the live image coming from the drone I'm flying. Can I tell StreamYard?
that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
I haven't tried it
try
out
that.
yet, but
that's
I
what
know.
we've been looking for is a way to do that. I can do it at home. I've done it. You've seen me stream the live stream of me flying the tiny hawk around the house because it's going into OBS and captured as a remote camera.
Well, you can transmit to a website, and which I've tested with Jim Boyd. Like anytime I'm flying live, if I'm flying live, it's actually broadcasting on my website.
Huh.
And it sends a stream out live. Now you can do it in two options. One where it's just a stream that is static. So that IP address will stay static. Now, if you go to the one where you want the comments to come on the screen for the website, you've got to post that every single time you do a broadcast. But just for bringing it up, in fact, I'll show you what it looks like here. Let's see.
Mitch, doesn't the FPV system has the option to stream that live now, right? DJI?
No.
No?
Not the.
You can send it to the smart controller, I thought.
Yeah,
and then-
that you can do, and I don't know if you can stream it from this smart controller.
I couldn't get it to work the other day. I was trying to get it to the smart controller, and I couldn't get it figured out.
Now, if I was broadcasting live, it would be showing on this webpage.
On your website, yeah, but that's still not. We're talking about coming up on your channel and doing a live stream like any live stream with comments and all that, where
Right.
where you like Ed does, Love My Drones. He does
Well,
that.
that's what I'm saying. If you did set it up beforehand on it using the other code, the comments would actually come up on this.
Okay, using the YouTube key, the RTMP settings.
The YouTube RTPM setting is set up through you're using that, but it's going on to YouTube through StreamYard. But the StreamYard coding it's simple. It's just simple HTML coding that is picking up. Then if it wanted with the comments, it's another code, but that's got to be put up there every time you're going to want to broadcast because of the text being up there.
That sounds like a way more complicated way of doing it than what we're thinking. What I thought, and I haven't had a chance to try it, would be to use like DU Screen Recorder.
Yeah,
You can stream live and it just streams whatever's showing up on the phone automatically. So you can then run the app from the SkyDroid, the little receiver, the little FPV receiver on your phone. And if you got DU Screen Recorder streaming in the background, it should stream it out. You won't, I doubt you'd be able to read comments, but when you're busy flying a quad with goggles on, you're not reading comments.
I think that's the last thing you're really worried about is comments.
Did you start flying FPV?
Oh,
You.
yeah.
Good for you.
I'm so sorry I ever started though.
It's addictive. It's a
Don't
lifestyle.
count that, Ken.
A lifesaver?
A lifestyle. It becomes a lifestyle. I mean, it takes over.
Yeah, it's sort of made me lose a little bit of interest in flying my GPS quads. Like if I'm going to grab a drone now, chances are I'm going to grab one of my FPV drones versus anything else.
He became addicted over at Spin Up the day after out the baseball stadium.
Well, there's no comparison. One of them is actually you're flying. You're really flying.
Yeah, it's
the other is you're just a aerial tripod.
Matter of fact, like this is sort of what happened already. So I've got this wall that started out as one, and
Man.
Yeah, you got one of them. Have you seen mine?
No, I hadn't seen that.
I have 18 of them now.
And then I ended up with one of these things. I didn't even know what this did, and for the longest time, I wouldn't fall asleep while it was working. Actually, I got it paused and printed a new mount. I broke another mount today.
Yeah.
Break mounts like once a day.
Well, there you go.
That was a 3D printer?
The Ender? Which one's that, Mitch? The Ender?
The Ender 3.
Yeah.
I made a few mods and it works great, but it's all for FPV stuff. That's the whole purpose of it.
Yeah, I put direct drive on it, and I think it works. I think it works great.
I print TPU with the way it is, and it works fine. Yeah, so.
I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, I had some problems like leveling it out. I want to do the auto leveler, but I'm just like, it's so complicated. Like they don't make any of this crap easy. Like they could take a simpler approach to things, but it's like, I feel like with FPV and anything that evolves around like this hobby, they're like, let's see how complicated we can make it to see if people are actually going to stick with it. It's like, I feel like I'm being tested or something.
But you do. And you just when you got everything, for example, Betaflight 2.4 or 4.1 figured out. They
now
got
4.2.
Yeah.
I haven't even updated to 4.2. I'm sticking with 4.1 just because I've got my filtering down. The quads are flying fine. My philosophy is if I can make it fly decent and it's not tuned well, then that just means I'm doing good as a pilot. But if I'm relying on a tune to fly well, then it's a tune. It's not me specifically as a pilot. That's my mentality. But also, I'm like, every time I touch something in Betaflight, everything goes to hell in a handbasket, and I'm just like, what the hell? And then I got to start over again. It's like, I've also found like my neck hurts because I'm staring down like this and like fiddling around. I changed cameras yesterday on the drones, and I'm like, this took way longer than I thought. Next thing I knew, it was like, I don't know. It was like if I was watching Pornhub and then I go outside and I'm like, oh, it's dark now. How'd that happen? That's FPV. I mean, it's insane.
I've been fooling with iNav.
This is the only way I'm probably going to fly this FPV. I'm going to
No, Brian, I'm telling you, put a set of goggles on, You're gonna love
And I'm
that.
going to say I flew the fucker. Yeah, okay.
Hey, oh.
That's what happens here. I'm telling you, the Tiny Hawk was probably what got me actually to
Fokker is a
fly
German
well.
airplane anyway. God damn it.
They're,
You know.
they're great little drones. I ended up with most of them somehow. You know, the race, the Tiny Talk 2 race, and the freestyle, and they're a lot of fun. You fly the little ones inside.
I'm just trying to figure out a place where I can fly this thing.
You fly it in the house.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely don't want to take
I
that
mean-
one outside.
Mitch, I've got dogs and cats who will just jump 10 feet in the air to get this thing.
Well, that's an obstacle. You got to fly under
Yeah,
their
I
legs.
know. That'd be pretty cool actually on the video. You know, with,
Yeah. Here I am flying under the cat. You know.
here's the inside of the cat's mouth.
Yeah, I fly I barely ever fly that Tiny Hawk outside. As a matter of fact, I just picked it up. But I got the Insta360 Go. I can't wait to try that out.
Well, that's
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
So if I clear my garage, that might be a good place to start because that's what I've been thinking.
There you go.
You know, when I say clear, get the cars out.
You got goggles and transmitter. You got all that stuff.
Yeah, it came with a kit.
Oh, so you got the
Yeah. Now okay, Dan. Dan, you know, Ken knows Dan. Drone worshiper.
Yeah, drone
worship.
He's the one that sold me on this, and it's like you said, Ken. This is truly flying.
It really is. Like I said, I just sort of brushed it off every time he said something to me because, you know, it's Dan and it's like, okay, Dan, shut up. But then I was like, you know, I was just like, Mike gave me a quad and I was like, you know, I just want to get it working. You know, I really want to try to make it work. And the more I kept playing with it, I was like, oh man, this is actually pretty fun. And then before long, I'm now down like $3,000, like I was playing blackjack or something. And it's just insane.
And that's what I'm worried about because I know if I start liking this thing, how much money I'll end up.
Oh yeah,
throwing.
you're screwed, man. Basically,
Kiss your
Yeah.
retirement goodbye, Brian.
It is so addictive. It is so addictive. It's crazy. Now you either gonna Ken, you gotta agree. You're either gonna get hooked or you're gonna get totally turned off.
you know, I think if I would have had a bad experience where I couldn't figure it out, I probably would have just been like, all right, whatever, chop it off. As I tried it, I didn't do it. But when you put like I committed to the fact that I got to figure this out. You fly the simulators. I did like 10 or 11 hours in the simulator, and I fly like every single night in the simulator. And my goal now is like been going along with what Joshua Bardwell's doing. Fly 3 packs a day. Well, I'm like flying like 5 or 6 packs a day. You know, even when I probably shouldn't be flying, I'm still flying.
That's the only way you'll ever learn is just doing it. It's like any other muscle memory sport. It's like learning how to ice skate, roller skate, rollerblade,
Yeah.
snowboard.
I like what Ponder Moore said. Just sell the boat.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then when you do, like, you start getting a little bit more creative. And that's, I think too, a lot of times people like, oh, you have to fly acro, you got to fly. You don't have to. It's just a good idea not to. But I would advise anybody, if you want to try it, just, you know, try it without, you know, try without, you know, flying acro, just to get a feel for things.
Well, you start out in stabilized mode in the house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
get
there's,
used
and
to
there's
throttle
nothing
control.
there's nothing wrong with that.
The racers, the guys who do the most successful indoor racers, fly in stabilized mode. I've seen some videos where they actually did tests of who can be faster, and the guys that actually fly indoor in stabilized mode in the drone racing do better.
Yeah, I've seen it both ways. I think if you fly in angle mode, it's got to be tuned so you don't get that crazy bounce back. That's what always kills me. That's why, like, I actually, on all my quads, I turned off angle mode in Horizon. And actually I turned my accelerometer off so it can save on processing power. So it doesn't need it. Unless I'm using like something like GPS, that would be the only time where I'm going to turn angle mode on or anything. So that way, when I flip it in the GPS mode, it can have an accelerometer to make sure the quad actually gets back to where I can control it.
Yeah. Have you done the GPS rescue thing yet?
I have one comment. I bought a pre-built drone from iFlight that it's going to be the first pre-built drone I've ever bought, but I just did it because I'm just like, man, I really don't have time to build another one, with all these projects I'm working on. So I'm like, I want another one, but I want digital, but I'm trying to convert all the quads over to digital because it's really damn good. It's really damn good.
You can't, unfortunately, the smallest one I have a 3-inch Acro Brat that has the full size. I actually managed to cram the full size DJI Air unit.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, I got it. Hold on, I'll go get it. Show it to you.
I gotta see this.
All that coming.
You know, I don't know. I've lost a drone or two up a tree, and that's what my thing with FPV is. I see all these guys.
I lost a
zipping around
drone
this and doing
in
that.
a tree just a couple of days ago. You should have saw me I went to church. Oh, I wasn't actually at church.
I saw a video
but
where you did
I
that.
lost the drone. I lost the drone in a tree at a church, and the church I think was vacant. Anyways, I was beating the freaking hell out of this tree in front of the church. I'm surprised they didn't call the cops on me. You should have saw me. I was like a monkey swinging from the tree trying to get this drone down. I actually pulled one of the signs that said "Don't park here" out of the ground, and I was throwing it up the tree. Finally got the drone down. Not even a cop. Nobody came and even harassed me. It was unbelievable.
You need to get yourself a telescopic, like a boat pole, and
I
just keep it in the trunk of your car
I
there,
should.
or a roller pole.
Okay.
And you can just put it up.
That almost is like my whirly gig, Mitch.
Hey, Brian, make me big and I'll show this to Ken.
That's what they all say, Mitch.
Yeah, make me big. That's what she said.
That's the first time you ever heard that.
There it is. Okay, so Ken, this is a 3-inch Acro Brat.
I got one like that.
And I moved the stack up
I
here.
got
I got the air unit in here. It's got a lost quad beeper on the back. It's got GPS on the arm here. So it's got GPS rescue. I fly this with a 1300 4-cell.
Peep this. This is
And I get about 7 minutes out of it. And it's a great, one of the best flying quads that I have.
look at this tiny thing.
Yeah. Well, you crammed one in there. Yeah.
I crammed one in. There's the whirly gig, and I don't know how long it flies. I wouldn't fly this very far, but it does really well. I get about like 6 minutes of flight out of this with
What kind of receiver you got in it?
none. I'm using DJI's receiver.
Okay, yeah, I don't use I never got the transmitter. I've been using the R9, the FrSky R9 all along. So this has got an R9 receiver in it.
I want to go crossfire though.
Yeah, you know, I would if I already didn't have this many on the R9, but I've never had a failsafe on R9. You can fly.
My thing with R9, it's very complicated to like figure out. See, I need to just take the trip over to Melbourne one weekend, just go through some of these quads with you. Have you help me tune?
Sure.
I should do that.
You know, listen, Ken. You know, I got a Sunday night live stream, 8 o'clock every Sunday night called FPV Workshop, and you know I try to get into the technical stuff and help. You know, because I'm a relative beginner. I've been doing it a year and a half now. That's about it. But where we can all get together and figure out crap.
Hey, I'm down for that, man, for sure.
All right, I'll tell you what, I'll put you on my email list so that you get a StreamYard link.
Okay.
If you're not busy, come on in. Love to have you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll definitely take a look at that. I'm gonna go ahead and jet. I'm gonna go grab some pizza, some beer, and enjoy Friday, guys. It was a pleasure talking with you all, Steve. Good seeing you, man.
Good
Hey,
to see
Ken,
you,
thanks a lot, man.
Ken.
Brian, good to see your face.
Nice meeting you, Ken.
Nice to meet you too, Fred. Mitch, I'll see you later, buddy.
Okay, buddy. Take
Bye,
care.
guys. See ya.
You know, and see, you know, Mitch, that's the thing too. You know, that quad that you just held up and the one that Ken had, that's what I find to be intimidating because I know it's like I said, I'm going to like this. No, everything on there has to be tie wrapped, glued, soldered, and whatever, just put together to where it's going to be able to handle the kind of rigors FPV flying is going to throw at it. You know, and I find that to be intimidating.
Yeah, you can buy them already built. Like I said, I was in the RC hobby for 50 years. Building to me was what the hobby was all about.
Yeah.
So I enjoy the workbench stuff as much as the flying, sometimes even more, because it's a craft and it gives you something to do in the evening. I mean, it's like a hobby as opposed to just a sport where you go out and fly. You don't have that with the closest that you get to that with the FPV stuff is doing firmware updates from DJI, which is not a lot of fun, you know. But building these things is a lot of fun. They're rugged as hell. You have to really work hard to break them. I think it's easier to actually lose them to break them. That's, I worry more about losing them, because you're flying around and it lands in a bunch of overgrowth and brush and scrub. You might never find it. That's why on the back we have these things. This is a little
Locator.
loud beeper, and it's got a battery in it, and it's designed to, if the battery is thrown, in other words, it beeps when you click the switch on the radio, but if the voltage is ever disappears from the quad, it has its own battery and it'll start beeping, and it'll beep for like 12 hours by itself, and has a flashing LED on it to help you find it. I actually had to use, the other day I was flying this thing and the battery ran out on me. I didn't realize that I was having so much fun. I forgot to watch how much battery I had left, and all of a sudden I had to land it. I didn't want to ruin the battery, and it landed in some tall grass, and I never would have found it if it wasn't for this beeper squealing like crazy.
Yeah, my problem where I'm at is trees. I mean, they cleared forest here for everybody to live in, but there's still just 80 and 90-foot trees everywhere.
Well, once you learn, you're basically, there's two stages to learning how to fly. There's the reactive and the proactive. So the reactive stage is basically the drone's the boss, and all you're doing is playing catch up. Trying to like, and then you reach that magic day where it dawns on you that you're actually in charge of this little project here, not the drone. and that's when all of a sudden you start saying, no, this is where you're going, because that's what I want you to do. And when that happens, it is when you really start to get excited about the hobby, because the stress and the fear of always crashing or maybe losing it goes away. Now my style of flying is I'm an old guy. I like to fly. I like to cruise with these things. I don't like to do all this zipping in and out of concrete warehouse buildings and all that crap. I like to fly in a style like I used to fly RC airplanes. That's nice, smooth, moving along, look at the scenery, maybe do a nice big loop or a nice slow roll, but nothing that's going to get your blood pressure up. I'm not doing it. Yet the younger FPV guys are all doing it for the excitement. It's all about the excitement.
Yeah, that's what's kind of off-putting to me too, because first time I really ever saw FPV was Ed Ricker's stuff.
Oh yeah,
he's flying around empty parking garages. Like, what?
Yeah.
How is this even happening? Why
He's
is
an amazing,
it slamming
he's
into the
an amazing
wall?
Yeah.
And especially while at Spin Up, Ken and
I was there, but he was flying underneath everybody's legs.
yeah, I know. When they were out in that parking lot over there with Sean and Ken, it was just like, Lord, that was unbelievable. He is an awesome pilot.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. But that's not my style. I'm not interested in doing that kind of stuff. If I was younger, I probably would. But
And see that's I kind of agree with you, Mitch. That's how I see me going with it. Once I get started on it, you little shit. He just sits here, laughing at me every time I take it out of the box. Just kind of giggling. You scared me, ain't you? Yeah.
I was, look, a year and a half ago, and I can fly. I mean, I've flown RC, like I say. I'm no stranger to having a transmitter in my hand. And yet, flying through the goggles, you'd think would be easier than flying a line of sight. Because when you're flying through the goggles, left is always left, right is always right. When you're flying line of sight and you're flying an RC airplane, it has to become almost instinct to know when it's coming at you. You can't stop and think about, well, obviously it's coming at me now, so I got you automatically just do it. But through the goggles, it's such a whole different point of view that getting used to the way the quad reacts. And you'll notice this when you first start doing it. You'll be in your house, and all of a sudden you'll be bang on the ceiling, and then bang down on the floor again, and then bang up against the ceiling again. And then plastered up against the wall with the motor screaming.
There's going to be multiple ceiling fans it's going to hit in my house. That's what I got.
Watch Artko's video where he was flying in the inside of his house. That's a good example. Dude.
Yeah, and I started
talking about it.
You know what I did, Brian? I actually hung sheets over my flat screen TVs just so I wouldn't damage the TV screens because I had no idea where this thing was gonna go. But eventually, and it doesn't take all that long, you practice hovering it, work on your throttle control, practice keeping it still in one place. Once you can hover it, keep it still in one place, you give a little, you're in a stabilized mode anyway. You just push forward on the stick a little bit and it starts to go forward, and then you try to keep flying and just,
See, and that's the main thing is like Dan told me, on your left hand, when you're pushing forward, you're giving it throttle. You're not just, it's not really going to go up. It will go up eventually, but all you're doing is keeping it either level or keeping it from going down or up. So you're actually really flying it.
Your left hand is your throttle. It's more like flying a helicopter than it is an airplane, especially in acro mode. Your right stick is like your rotor, pitch and roll. And your left stick is your collective pitch, which increases and decreases lift. And then left and right on the left stick is like your tail rotor. It yaws, same way a Mavic does.
Yep.
Okay. But you got to keep in mind that when you're flying in acro mode and you take off and you push forward on the right stick and it tilts. And if you let go of the stick, that tilt's going to stay right there. So you don't have any leveling whatsoever. So now once you push the thing forward, you have less lift than if you're level. So now at that point, you have to add a little bit of power to accelerate forward. I'm
going to show you. I just remember. I'm going to show you something. If I can find it. Yeah, here it is. This was a gift to me. It is what I consider to be my very first drone. It is
it's adorable.
Huh? It's
adorable.
Yeah. Anyway, what you're describing, though, because this thing, it works, mode 2 on the sticks, but I had to push forward on the left stick to keep it up. In other words, it was flying just like I didn't know about FPV 3 years ago or 4 years ago, whenever they gave me this. So this thing almost flew just like that. And I wish I could find a battery for it now because it has 3 different speed modes too. And I always kept it on the lowest one, and the lowest one was fast. And I was going, if that's the lowest one, I'm screwed.
And there's no camera in it either, is there?
No, there's no camera in it. It's all, but it's made to, it's like I said, it's got, guards all the way around.
Yeah.
So it's made to hit walls. The funny thing about that drone, about 2 years ago, I took it out and I just flew it in the house, and I had it going pretty good because I got like a 2-story house and with a big old overhang, and there's a lot of room between the upstairs and the downstairs, a lot of clear area. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, oh, this is good. I'm actually flying this thing. And my wife walked in under me, and I don't know what the heck, the dog barked. I don't know what happened. The damn thing ended up in her hair.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they managed to wrap hair up in the blades.
Oh,
too.
Yeah. I had to cut a chunk of her hair out. She still tells that story today.
Oh, trust me. I went over for dinner one night and she told me the whole story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's still not happy about it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Her, in fact, it was my wife's son and his wife who gave me that drone for Christmas. And to this day, she goes, see what you started? See what you know how much money he's put into this already?
It's no different than a boat. It's
cheaper than a boat.
Yeah.
It's much cheaper than a boat.
No, that's not true. I know how much any aircraft you have, and look at Ken. With him starting into it in a very short time, you can dump a lot of money into it.
Oh, it's crazy. It's nuts. And and then I decided to get out some of the old RC helicopters and get them going again.
Got one of those back there too. That was a disaster.
Wow.
I've got some huge ones. I mean, I'm talking here.
I remember I saw a video of you showing. I know.
No, this one up here.
I want to see it. Jeez.
See, now that's something you could put a small animal in.
Oh, there's no doubt. That's big. And then up here, let's see if I can show it to you. Up there, up on top of the counter, see that?
What in the hell?
That's a turbine engine powered RC airplane. Goes 200 miles an hour. It's got a real gas turbine engine on it, and haven't flown them in a few years. But that's what I used to fly, are the turbine powered models.
Wow.
But that's about. I don't know if this camera will reach and let me untangle the camera, and I might be able to show you the engine on the thing. I got it all rolled up to the cable. Let's see here. This is a real ride I'm taking you guys on.
I was gonna say we're getting a tour.
You're getting the whole. No, I mean this is a real ride through the. Trying to untangle the wire. Hold on, we'll get there.
Anybody have any flight bags?
Yeah,
Barf bags.
Hey, we're doing FPV. Thanks, Mitch.
yeah. Okay, no problem. I'll get you. Okay, so that's about as good as I'm going to get. But what I'm going to try to see is if you can see the motor on top of it. It's upside down now. Okay, hold on. Let me get it up there. Can you see that? Can you see the purple? It's got a purple shroud on the motor.
Dude, if you put that thing in the air, they're going to be calling UFOs.
Oh, this is there's a lot of guys fly these turbine.
You just need a bunch of lights on that thing. You could really stir up some stuff.
And that was a relatively inexpensive one. That was a sport model. We used to build and fly these big scale model ones. It looked like, I had an F-100 from Vietnam era F-100 fighter. No, lunacy. It was crazy expensive hobby. I can't afford it anymore, but I still have a couple of the airplanes and engines hanging around. Maybe one of these days.
But I want to take a minute and I'm forgetting my host duties. I'm just terrible at this. Welcome, Robert S. Love my drones. Duke Woodstock Rivers. I cannot believe. I don't know if I've ever responded more. I know who that is. And Agent K, I haven't seen him in a while. Junior L is still, I think, in here, I think. But yeah, thanks y'all for coming in. I appreciate this.
No, it's having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
And you're remembering Woodstock on top of it all? Boy,
I
Brian,
know, right?
you're a better man than me.
Okay, wait a minute. Now, let's see. I don't want to embarrass Mitch, but how old was everybody at Woodstock here? I know how old Mitch is. So.
Oh, I was in the Army when Woodstock happened.
Oh, damn.
But I went to the no, I wasn't. What year was Woodstock? I forgot.
69.
69.
Yeah, I was in the Army. I've been in the Army since '66, but I do remember going up through that part of New York, stayed on my way to Montreal one year and driving right through the area where Woodstock was. And I of course remember all the music and generational stuff from Woodstock, but I was not at that time a Woodstock kind of a young man.
Well,
I was
Go ahead, Fred.
I was 10
You were
years old.
I was 9.
I got you beat. I was in high school. I was a sophomore in high school. So I mean, the
You're
music of
pretty-
that era.
Pretty close to me there, Steve, aren't you? You're not too far behind me.
Now I'll be 67 next month.
Yeah.
Still a young man.
Yep.
Another day older is all it is.
That's true.
See, here's Love My Drones. He was about my age.
Yeah.
So Fred's age.
Yep.
Robert S. Child of 1960. Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on the 60s. I just had a refresher course yesterday morning. Fred and I couldn't go walking I told Fred this morning. We couldn't go walking because it's been raining here, and I'm sitting there drinking coffee, turning on the TV, and oh no,
Yeah.
I cannot believe I'm going to watch this. What the hell? Beach blanket bingo. Oh,
Oh man.
that was
And
just.
no, we only watched that for Annette Funicello.
Don't you mean another year, Steve? No, 1969. No, I graduated high school in 71, so I was a sophomore in 69.
About right. Yeah, Steve, I wouldn't have pegged you for 67.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm not. I'm only 66.
Well, there you go. Even
Yeah.
younger.
So see, you were right.
I could have sworn you said 67 a minute ago.
Oh yeah, next month.
Okay. See, that's what I do because I was born in 1960, a decade year,
Hmm.
but it's in November. Come like May or June, I just say, yeah, I'm 60. I'm still 59.
I've been
Yeah.
doing that all my life. If I'm more than 6 months from my past birthday, if somebody says, how old am I tell them what my next birthday is.
Yep.
I mean, I figure if I'm closer to, right, I was 73 in May. But for most of this year, people say, how old am I? I say, I'm 73,
Yep.
I kind of, I don't know about you. I wear age as a badge of honor, not something to be ashamed of.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had.
Go ahead.
Steve.
Brian. No, I was just going to say I use it as like what Mitch is saying, a badge of honor, a badge of I've been through the good, the bad, the ugly, and I've come out on the other side, and I have some common sense now.
Exactly. It's a shame young people don't get it. They think the older you get, the dumber you get. They have no clue.
No, they have no perspective, is what it is.
No, and neither did we when we were their age. So,
And that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. I had a blast when I was in my 20s, but I damn sure wouldn't want to do it again.
I think it was about 24 one day, and my dad and we were talking, and one day it was just like an epiphany that it was like, oh my gosh, he's pretty smart. It's just like this realization had finally set in, So going, well, how long did it take you to figure that one out?
yeah, what's the old saying? The older I get, the smarter my parents become.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's true. No, it's true.
it is. And when you're around your parents, you never really think back at them. And my whole dad's side of the family, they were all brilliant. I mean, my dad was. As an apprentice electrician, where Ed will appreciate this, he sat with the county as an apprentice to help them write the electrical code for the county of Orange here in California as an apprentice, not as a journeyman, not as an instructor. He went on to instruct later. But when my dad decided to close his business down, I was still working for him part-time. I'd go in there to help him out. And the phone rang. And the gentleman asked to speak with my dad. And I said, well, he's not here right now, but he's due back in just a little bit. I says, can I take a message for him? And he goes, yes, this is, I forget the gentleman's name. He says, I'm the president of General Electric. And I'm going, wait a second. And I go, we found out your dad is retiring and I'd like to speak with him. And what they were calling up is they wanted him to come in and consult for them. And it was just like, well, how many times do you really think about? And that's when, I was old enough, like I say, to really understand and to appreciate your parents and the knowledge going, well, this wasn't just a person calling. This was the actual president of General Electric wanting for their electrical division and wanting them to talk to my dad because they wanted him to come and to consult for him. And he goes, so he ended up returning the gentleman's phone call back and appreciate everything and just said, nope, I'm retiring. I'm done. Hanging it up.
I'd have a hard, that's a hell of a story, Steve, but I could see where he was coming from because, I've been retired. I say retired. I always think to myself in the back of my head, well, I could still go back to work.
Yeah.
But, I always think God, to be on someone else's schedule again. Yeah, no, let me pass. It's a mindset you get after a while. It's like, yeah, no, I don't need the money that bad. It'd be nice to have it because I am on a fixed income and it sucks.
Yeah.
And when we
Well,
were
can you consult still? You could do that part time.
not in the field I was in, I mean, I just did basic IT work, which is building, rebuilding computers and maintaining computer networks, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I didn't do it long enough after I left the phone company to go anywhere with it. If I'd have stayed in it for another 15, 20 years, yeah, it might have been six income figure. But, I just did that to tide me over till I could retire.
Mm-hmm.
Because the phone company takes care of that pretty well, actually.
Yeah, they do. They do have a good retirement plan.
They did.
Well, yeah, I should say they did.
Yeah.
Because I know with friends of mine growing up, actually three really close friends all the way through high school. Their dads worked for back in the days of AT&T here, and when they went to retire, they had a really nice retirement package that they ended up with. Because he was fortunate enough to work for old Tricky Dick at the Western White House. He was the communications specialist, and then he was the first one. I'm trying to think of where it's from. When Richard Nixon flew to, it was Hungary or Czechoslovakia, I forget where they flew to. Back in those days, you were taking the whole control board system with you back over there, was being taken over there. And the first non-operator assisted call was him calling his wife for a test. And I'm going, how much did that cost you? He says, didn't cost me anything, but it cost the government some money.
Well, guys, I'm gonna take off.
Yeah, I'm probably going to wrap this up anyway.
Thanks for inviting me, Fred. Good to see you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, Steve. Always a pleasure. And Brian, I'm going to put you on my mail list, and
Okay.
mail them to everybody. And if you get these emails from me, no obligation to.
Yeah, I try to make Jim's like on every Tuesday night because it can get pretty good on his with the tech stuff. I don't mind getting all over the board the way we do here because it's fun. But man, that stuff with Jim's, it's like some nights I'll be on there and my head is hurting by the time we're done, he gets into some really.
I think that's the fun part about it is it's diverse and people bring up different things and problems. And Jim's, when he went, with Mitch, he's got a great show what he does, and he's got a background of flying, FPVs and RC aircraft, so he falls right into that niche, and he's really good at his shows that he has.
And see, that's what I'm worried about happening to me, though, is I don't want to have to be following Mitch that much because in the long run, it's going to cost me a fortune.
Ka-ching, ka-ching. Well, blame it all on Mitch.
It is a crack cocaine kind of a hobby. You do, honest to God. But you don't have to have 18 drones. You can have fun with one or two drones. It depends how crazy you are. With me, the hard part, I enjoy building the stupid things. So when and I don't break them. See, that's with the flying style that I have, I don't crash. I don't even break propellers. People, they don't believe that you could be in this hobby and not break anything. Well, when you think about that helicopter I just showed you, that RC, some of these RC planes that I built took 6 months to build.
Mm-hmm.
And one crash and they're gone. So when you approach it in the RC hobby, you don't have something as indestructible as a quad. You approach your flying very cautiously, very carefully, and you take no chances because the goal is to not break the airplane. And I got into that habit over all those years, and I can't break that habit. I know that I can be doing power loops between trees, and if I happen to hit the ground, nothing's going to happen to the quad. But I have a mental block against putting it at risk.
Right. Yeah, I'm the same way when I fly.
Yeah, and I can't get over that. I try. I'm just now starting to fly around between the trees because everybody's pushing me to fly between around. And I have the skill to do it. I just don't do because of the habit I'm in, you know.
I was going to say, not all of us are as lucky as you to have that beautiful outdoor area that you have that park to go fly at.
Something.
I mean, that would be 50 million here in California for that parcel.
It's crazy, and it's an empty park. Nobody ever uses it. There's hardly anybody there. All right, guys. Well, listen, Sunday night at 8 o'clock on my channel, Old Guy in a Drone. I'd love to have you. And Brian, I'll put you on the list. You'll get a StreamYard invitation, or just come in the chat. Either way.
Okay.
And bring your wallet. Bring your wallet,
and we're going to be talking about Tiny Hawks, getting them set up, because Art's just getting into his. We're going to be talking about flying the simulator Velocidrone with him.
Honestly, though, with the weather being here, what it is, I do see me getting into this Tiny Hawk in the next day or two.
And the simulator is the greatest thing. So you know, get Velocidrone or something like that. Mel's going to be probably coming by, and we're going to get a bunch of us to do multi-flying on the simulator, all flying around together. So that's a lot of fun. All right, I'll see you then. Take care.
All right, Mitch.
Take care,
All right,
Mitch.
Okay, bye-bye. Let me get out of here.
I don't know.
The leave
Let's see
button.
what I can do.
leave
Leave
studio,
button.
the red X button.
There
There
we
you
go.
go.
I had the worst time with that. You know, every time I do one of these, Steve, for instance, like I do these every 2 weeks, where I try to keep a schedule on, you know, Friday afternoon. And I ended it, but I forgot to hit end broadcast. And I'm looking at the chat, everybody's going, hit the end broadcast. You know, they're telling you, hit the button. You're still there.
Jim did the same thing. It was still going on. We were talking. He stopped the stream and we went away, and I went back over and I looked at the screen. I'm going, I get my phone out. Jim, you know, you're still, because I had left. And I go, Jim, you know, you're still broadcasting live. It just had an empty chair sitting there with his backdrop. Oh.
I don't know how Jim does that, because he's sitting out there in his garage, and I know he's in Florida. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
it's got to be air conditioned, I hope.
Nope. He
Nope.
has the door open.
Yeah, because he was on my show last Friday or 2 Fridays ago, and he flipped the camera around, and I guess it was his wife and family out there. I said, well, okay, he's got the door open, so there's air there. Man, I'd be dying here, man, if
Yeah.
the door was open.
And then he's got two fans that sit there by the front of the garage door to push the air in.
Yeah, and no wonder why he needs a new computer.
Yeah. Ed, I was going to answer, if I may, real quick, to Ed put something up there. It says,
Paul was in here too. I forgot about him.
in the electrical industry, one thing that I've seen is the engineers come up with some stuff and they have no time in the field. In fact, this is a good example of it. Before I actually went in the electrical apprenticeship program, I had also applied at Arizona State, and they have a construction building program. It's the #1 school in the world where, you know, in colleges, you're coming out and you have in your junior year where they'll have different, you know, companies come in and job opportunities for coming up the next following year that they're looking at. In an average college, you've got one job offering from like 10 people. Their program there is 5 companies to every student graduating from there. They have a program where once you reach your junior year, you go in mandatory, and you do not get any pay compensation for it as part of your OJT training. You will go to work for an electrical contractor. You will go to work for a general contractor. You work for an HVAC contractor. You work for a structural steel contractor. You're going to work for concrete. You're going to work for every single trade in the construction industry. You will work. You do not, you're dropped from the program, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that's why when the students are coming out of there graduating, and they have 2. One is general construction. That's the one I was talking about. And the other one is heavy. So it's dams, bridges, and big stuff like power plants. Because I have friends of mine that worked at like at San Onofre Nuclear Power Station and other places. And then they went on to different engineering fields that they went on to. But I'll tell you what, when you come out of there and the kids don't, back at that time, you don't realize it. But when I had my friends graduating from there, and he goes, I can't believe it, man. There were so many people that came there to present, looking for students to come to work for them, the next following year. It was like unbelievable. And there you're learning, you're going to get hands-on before you come out. Like that's one thing that I could never see, they'd never do, but they do it there for their architectural school there, because the construction building program, what they did do is the architectural started forcing their students to do the same thing.
Yeah.
That you're going to learn out in the field, the real world, not just books in a classroom version.
Yeah.
This is the real world, and this is what you're going to be designing. You've designed it. Now, can it be built? Can it actually be done?
Yeah.
So the problem with a lot of colleges is all these kids come out of college with a degree and they think they're going to get a job.
Yeah.
Not without experience. It ain't going to happen. My son is in Norway. He just got accepted for a computer programming, like a school.
Okay.
And part of that is at the end of it, he's going to work for them for a year. So by the time he's done, he's got a year experience in the field. And I think it's going to be a really good thing for him.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you can get that, the education and real world experience, that's going to make a big difference. I mean, I never finished to go get my 4-year degree. And I know with the opportunity that came up, I actually left my electrical contracting business to oversee my company for the manufacturer. But what I had was a practical experience. I had 10 years under my belt in the specific, and because what we did is we got a job to retrofit the fire alarm system for Disneyland here in California.
Jesus.
And during the process, it was only going to be a 1-year contract, but during the process we were in, we got delayed by Disney, and the project just kept getting back and back. Well, I went ahead and started the project because I knew everything that we were submitting. I mean, we were on day 157 of being on site, and our specifications were finally approved for the materials that we were going to be using.
Jesus.
But we were
all getting paid.
Well, we did. And you just, and that's where I started learning, like with Jim. In fact, the instructor that I went through with them is through George Washington University in project management. And I'll tell you what, when you go through, you read their contracts, and that's where you learn to read them. But we ended up opening, just want to start Disney California Adventure, which back in the late 90s, that's where it was. So that 1-year job turned into me 2 weeks shy of 5 years of being there.
Wow.
And it is. The stuff nowadays is so technical. It's like a doctor. Well, we don't do that. Well, I'm going to have to send you to a specialist to do
And
that.
it's like Mike was saying there about when he made this statement, it is more specialized now. There's too much other stuff that's integrated to what used to be just the basics.
Yeah. Exactly. Hello, Bill, Metro Drones. How are you?
I'm going to say, we got a new one here.
Yeah.
That's something.
He's
I'm glad you mentioned his name.
supporter.
I got a running list here because it's hard for me to keep up with who is who. Now Bill is Metro Drones. I've got that on my list now.
Yeah. He's an outstanding supporter of the drone community.
Oh, I know. He's always there in the chats and everything. Let's see. Make sure. Yeah, there he is. I do have him. Bill.
Yeah.
Thomas. Oh, it's still hanging. Dude,
Yeah.
it's like, what gets me about Thomas? He'll be on like later on tonight with Matt. It's 3 a.m. where he is.
I know.
No, not now, Fred. It's like 3 a.m. when Matt comes on at like 7, 8, 9 o'clock, and then
He's
you were in my stream 3 hours ago, and it's 6 hours ahead. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, he is. Because like right now, it would be what 10:30. Oh, he's 8 hours ahead of me,
it's
so
almost,
it's
yeah,
10:30 and 10:30 at night for him.
yeah. Hey, Steve,
Yes,
you're in Southern California, right?
correct.
Okay, yeah. You mentioned Orange County. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got a granddaughter out there in Frisco, San Francisco.
Oh, north. Oh, 11:30. Oh, sorry about that, Tomas.
11:30. Yeah, that's about what I thought.
Northern California.
She said she was going to come back to Texas, but I got a funny feeling she's not. She's been
Well, if she wants to keep her mind in any kind of normal state, she'll move back to Texas.
and that's what I'm worried about. Her husband is CFO of a tech company.
Oh,
She just
okay.
became like a major research doctor.
Oh,
And she's more or less said that there's no work anywhere else but where she is right now.
yeah.
She says eventually in Houston or Austin it will open up, but it's so specialized, it could be years.
Yeah.
And I'm just going, you're going to be mind controlled and brainwashed by then, Haley.
If she isn't already.
If she isn't already. Yeah.
Because you got Silicon Valley there, where you've got all the big tech companies there.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. I remember I went up to San Jose and to go see some of the areas. So my cousin is in the dry goods business, selling to a lot of different manufacturers. And I went up there to stay with him because I was going to a school up there. And what it was for is Disney on all their fencing. I'll give a secret away here. Nothing that everybody would even know. It's anti-climb protection on their fencing. And what it is it's wiring that gets put on their fencing, and you start to climb it, and it's all by zones. So they know if it's the wind blowing and everything. So I went up there to learn the engineering part of it from the manufacturer. And this is back in this is right around 2000. And I could not believe all the businesses that were up there. And that was just at the beginning when they were starting to slow down. But to see all the development of all the tech and the industry up there, that was just mind-boggling because it had been years since I'd been in that area.
And that's the whole thing. I love tech, but man, it gets so far ahead of me sometimes. It's like, I don't know if I keep my head wrapped around all this stuff. And like I said, I've loved tech all my life. Mostly the PC side and computers. I love that. There's a logic there that I've always been able to appreciate. But when you start taking all the stuff that you can do with that logic and integrating it with robotics,
Oh yeah,
it just blows me away. The stuff that they've made and they're manufacturing, it blows me away, but it scares me at the same time too. It's like, oh man, I don't know if this is a good idea.
I
The
wrote,
other day, a $25,000 drone that the United States government approved with this drone company. The drone is small, as small or smaller than the Mavic Mini. It can go out 2 or 3 miles, and it's made for reconnaissance in the field, in the battlefield.
right.
How long will it be before they put something on there to make it more than just a reconnaissance drone?
Well, the Army has already had the little drones, but the little helicopters that,
Yeah.
I mean, it sits in the palm of your hand. I mean, the whole helicopter shell
Yep.
would go from the back of my hand to about midway up my middle finger. Now the rotor's a little bit bigger, but they were using those for surveillance, for going and looking over hills and,
Yep.
Especially during the Gulf Wars, and they had them back then even.
Yeah. These supposedly have a better range and they can't be jammed or interfered with. But I think the whole idea of the article was that it's an American-made company that's coming out with these, because I guess the president has directed the Department of Defense not to get Chinese drones anymore. So
Yeah. The Dragonfly, is that
Yeah.
it?
I
Agent
think
K
so.
is bringing that up. Yeah, it's the tech industry up there is unbelievable. And
Yep.
then of course they went through their drop when the whole tech industry had the crash,
Oh yeah.
but now it's been building and building and building. It's
Oh,
back again.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm ready.
It's dog feeding time again.
It's Fred feeding time for me.
Well, Fred, it was a pleasure to meet you. Brian, thank you very much for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Like I said, I love doing these, man. I really do. I like doing these, but I don't. I really am more comfortable being in the chats for some reason. I don't know. I know you're in a lot of them, Steve. There's Steve again.
You did a fine job. You did good.
But,
nice
he does
meeting you,
good.
too.
No, I'm comfortable doing these, but like I said, to me, it's easier to be in the chats and just be kind of there rather than to have to
Hosting it.
or even just being there and trying not to chew on chicken like Adrian Mateo Jones does. That was hysterical. Like about 2 or 3 weeks ago, they were just right. I don't know if you were there, Adrian. That's just gross, man. What are you eating?
On Matt's show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or chewing on ice. He's
Yeah.
sitting there and it's just like you're hearing this noise or potato chips.
I better end up popping here at any moment now because I know he gets off work right about now.
Yeah.
Hey, Thomas, it was good seeing you, man. I'm glad you hung with me. Agent K, Metro Drones, this has been great. Let's see who has loved my drones. I know he's probably still in here. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this, and hopefully I'll do this the right way. Let's see if we can do one button ending here.
Just
And-
stop the live broadcast.
Yeah. 3 and 2 and 1.
Take care, everybody. Have a
Bye-bye.
great weekend.